All right. Okay.
All right.
Good morning, Mission High School. I'm Noé Flores. I am part of your Talking Talons podcast, and today we are here with Mr. Frank Rios. Mr. Rios, would you like to talk to us about what you do, the programs that you participate in, and just a little about yourself?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to be here with this guys
Course.
here and stuff. So really appreciate that. Yes, I came into the program back in 2013, and we started with one class. Obviously, it was Coach Clemens that was here prior to me, and then I got in here, and we started to grow with the program, and we started off with Skills USA. Of course, obviously, my background a little bit was with I was a volunteer firefighter mission. But we had limited equipment. So once we got to do a little bit of law enforcement, start to get more kids involved with the competitions, we were able to start purchasing more equipment for our students. Then we got outside from Skills USA and got into a Texas Public Service Teacher Association, or the Texas Public Service Teachers Association. There's two of them, I'm sorry. And then there was like 23 different events. And one thing I liked was they had the firefighter events. So this was really big. Again, I used to be a volunteer firefighter for Mission for a few years before I went off into my career, in college and stuff. And I learned a lot. I went to the academy. Didn't get to finish it though, because I was trying to finish college at the same time. But whatever I was able to gain, I gained a lot of it, and I still have a lot of friends of mine there with the fire department, and I still pick up a lot of good things out of it, especially from the academy. So whatever I got out of it, I tried to build with our students. You know what I mean? So
Course.
that's where the firefighter events build off and stuff. But now we're 3 classes strong. We're close to 40 students competing, and we'll get nearly half of them that goes into state competitions, from various things, from corrections to fire to police and to being a lawyer, all kinds of good things right now. So the program's growing very well. It's going off the ground very well.
That's great to hear. That's great to hear. And I had heard from an Igor too that the fire department or the fire program isn't going to be available anymore. It's very unfortunate, but what would you like to say about that? What would you like to include?
Well, I understand the STC is the one that's providing the fire program, and we're trying to keep the students enrolled in there. This was our second year of kids that are involved with that. I can understand that they're trying to keep the large mass class going, but then there are certain guidelines that the students have to meet in order to pursue their career. You know what I mean? So if they happen to pass a certain area in that, they'll get another opportunity. Okay. Now, mind you, these are students that are in high school. They're not graduates from school or anything like that. It's a whole different program, right? But it is a learning tool. I'm hoping that they can continue to keep the program. I mean, it's going to have its ups and downs. You know what I mean? But last year we were able to graduate, I believe, 5 students last year. I think we're going to graduate from Mission High. I think we have like 3 or 4, somewhere around that number. So, but again, it's all about funding, coming from the state, and keeping the kids in the program. Try to be positive about it. So, but hopefully that we can still be able to resource it to the students who graduate who want to continue that, because I found out that I had some kids that were in my practicum class that had no interest in firefighter that are now working firefighters that went to SDC after high school, and continue their success into first responder or public safety, something like that. So, but who knows? It may bounce back. We'll see what happens.
Of course. And for any upcoming freshmen or people that are already in high school and are interested in joining the law enforcement programs and classes, what would you like to say to them? What advice or what thought should they keep in their head when they're entering this program?
Oh, there's the thing about it is, they want to go into public service. This is a right field to go into, whether it's police, fire, EMS, either one of those three, or becoming a 911 telecommunicator. Okay, so with Ms. Chrostowski and Mr. Clemens and myself, we have a real good commodity of working together, how we want to teach our students to be successful throughout the program. Along with that program, we want to be exposed into competing in different events. So that way they have firsthand of how certain area things such as from being a felony traffic stop to a misdemeanor, in correction to cell distraction, to fingerprinting or doing the inmate processing. You know what I mean? We're hoping that the lawyer will grow because we have an opening and closing ceremony for those students who want to become lawyers.
Wow. Well, that is amazing. So, how challenging could it be to put this gear on? What's the average time that these students have to take to put it on? If I'm not mistaken, you guys compete for this, correct?
Correct.
How quick
Yes.
you could put this on? What's the average time, or what's really the gist or the trick of it?
Why do they have the bunker gear race? Because sometimes when you're sleeping at the fire department or you got a call and you got to dress up quick, so it's all about timing. Okay, so in this event, it's a fun event. It's called bunker gear race. Uh, in order to qualify in state, you got to hit at least under 25 seconds. Okay,
Really?
you got to hit under 25 seconds. Maybe your regional, you may be able to get it in the 22, like 26, 27. But there are certain tricks that you need to do with the bunker gear, and you want to make sure they try to get in as fast as you can. Now, it's not about how fast you put it on, but it's got to be efficient. You got to make sure everything's sealed. You have nothing, no skin exposure at all. Everything's got to fit correctly. So it's about technique and timing to make sure that this bunker gear is on properly. You know what I mean? So as you could tell, we have a little setup here where the bunker gear pants and you have your bunker gear boots, and you got to make sure that everything fits you properly. You can't have it baggy. You can't have it tight because if you have it tight, it's gonna be harder to put on there, right? But you got to have this on here, and of course you have your Nomax hood. This is very important with the Nomax hood because when you put it over your head and your head underneath your chin, they're supposed to help you from heat. Okay.
Okay.
And then when you snap it on with the helmet, of course the last thing's gonna be the helmet on there. Then you got your gloves. As soon as you got your gloves on, then you clap your hands. That stops the time. Okay. This is a fun event. I love this. It's a challenge. We usually get like a few of them that's really like that. So yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for your time. Now, some words from Miss Chrostowski, another one of our law enforcement teachers. We are back and we're accompanied with Miss Chrostowski. Miss Chrostowski, what do you do in this law enforcement program? What do you teach? What grades do you teach? And how do you feel that you've impacted this program? Because I personally know, and a lot of people here know, that you've impacted this program greatly, not just by teaching students, but bringing in female students into the law enforcement program. And that's very uncommon, but that is amazing that you've been able to do that. Talk to us about that.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. As a former law enforcement officer, we there's not that many females in law enforcement. It's mostly a male, a team. So when I came into teaching, Mr. Rios showed me the ropes and everything, transitioning from police officer into the teaching world. Right, it took some time, but I recruited females. I told them, girls, we need to get into this, and so I teach principles of law, Law 1 and Law 2, which is 9th through 11th grade. Right. So we do a lot of competitions. Fire has been one of our biggest ones that has come in recently, but we do police traffic stops. We do crash investigations. We do felony traffic stops. We do a lot of competitions. Lawyers, like Mr. Rios was saying. And in the fire, it was always boys, and I was always boys, and we always took first, second, and third. First, second, and third. I'm like, we need girls. We need girls. We need girls. So I started recruiting our girls, and we had our first female. Our first female a couple of years ago competed, and she competed at the regionals, and she took state first at state. First female ever, so super proud of that. So they've come a long way. So now we have more girls coming into the program, which is awesome, Girl power, girl
Amazing.
power.
That's amazing. So you could say that huge accomplishment brought more women into the field and made them feel more interested and I'd want to say more motivated into the law
Yes,
enforcement program?
yes.
Wow, that's amazing. And if you don't mind me asking, what are some experiences that you may have had in your time as a law enforcement or working as a law enforcement teacher that just has kept you going or has motivated you to keep on doing this?
I think the motivation of the students, they look up to us as like me as a former police officer. They like, Miss, tell us some of your stories, and I'll tell them some of the stories. Not a lot of the gruesome stuff, but working out in the field, is tough. A lot of people don't know, but law enforcement is a tough job. You work graveyard. I did a lot of graveyard. And my kids, when my children were smaller, and mom, they were afraid. Are you gonna come home? So that took a toll on my kids and myself, and then that made me transition into teaching, right? And the teaching came into part. One day I was stationed at Robert Vela High School when I was a police officer, and I got called into one of the law enforcement classes. There was like a mini school fight, right? So then I saw the classroom and I saw all the flags and all this police stuff, and I'm like, hey, like this looks interesting, right? So I talked to the teacher there, and she was former law enforcement, right? And so she's like, you need to go back to school. Went back to school and got my degrees, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go into teaching. Went into the program. And then Mr. Rios was teaching law enforcement. I've known Mr. Rios for about 20 plus years. We go way back, and then I got in. And it's like, once I started teaching my kids, and then, the program grew, we have 30 plus kids in our classrooms, which is totally awesome. I love it. We're packed in there, but we're united. I always tell my kids, we're a family, in real life. Oh, I don't like this person. You know what? You have to work together. And that's what it's all about. In law enforcement, you have to work together. Why? Because you have to have each other's backs. And that's what our classrooms are all about.
Of course. So, for any upcoming freshmen or any, I'd want to say, sophomores or juniors that want to change their career path into law enforcement, what is a piece of advice or what is something that you could tell them just to keep in mind when they're ready to make that decision? Or
Just come on board. They will graduate with of course, it's a 4-year endorsement, right? Because it's a CT course. They will graduate with a security level certification, which they get their senior year. Once they graduate from Mr. Rios' practicum course, they can work as a security at a bank, at the mall, and stuff like that, at a hospital, right? Or even at the school district. We've had a couple of our students who graduated and were security officers as well. And then 911 dispatch, of course, and drone certification as well.
of course, of course. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
us.
taking the
Appreciate
time
it.
to talk
Thank you.
to us. This is our law enforcement episode. So now I want to take a little moment to just maybe take on a challenge and try this on. We're going to bring in one of our juniors who participates here and we'll see what's up with this. Let's see if I could do, I don't know if I could do 25 seconds. I'm not state qualified, but I think maybe under 2 minutes, hopefully. Let's try this out. We're back, and now we are here with Mr. Oscar Moreno, one of our juniors at our high school. Mr. Oscar, do you want to talk to us about your competitions? I know you're not too deep into this competition. I know you do other competitions. Do you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having us. So the bunker gear race, this is not what I do, but I do volunteer at a local fire department, so I do have experience on putting all this on.
Of course.
What I do is fire agility. That's like a little course.
Okay.
So what you do there, you're gonna grab 150 feet of rope, you're gonna drag it, and then there's gonna be a white line. After you pass that white line, you're gonna get up, you're gonna walk to two 45 weight dumbbells. You're gonna have two of them. You're gonna walk 15 yards. After those 15 yards, you drop them. You're gonna walk to a tire. There's gonna be a sledgehammer. You're gonna pick it up, grab it 15 times. You're gonna hit it 15 times.
Of course.
And then after that, put the hammer down. You're gonna walk to a dummy that's 150 pound, and you're gonna pick it up. You're gonna walk 50 yards and back. And after those 50 yards, you're done. And I usually take a minute flat on that.
Oh, wow, that is impressive, man.
This year I got second for it, but For state, I didn't place unfortunately, but next year I'm coming for that first.
Of course, next year is always a
Yeah.
better year, man. And how long have you been doing this law enforcement thing? Have you always been doing firefighting, or how did
No.
that go?
I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a CSI, that's crime scene investigator. That's what I wanted to be. But I look up to my brother, so we both wanted to be police officers. But I don't know, we both like transitioned to fire. We liked it more. And I look up to my brother right now. He's a firefighter for the city of Palmview.
Wow.
And I'm hoping after high school I could be a firefighter for the city of Palmview too.
Of course, that is amazing, man. And enough of the talk. Let's try this out. Do you want to show the camera first how this goes? Because I'm not no expert, but I feel like I could feed off of you.
Okay. I'll show you a little example. So, in a road fire, or let's say in a road call, you're supposed to put this on under 2 minutes, but for a state, it's supposed to be under 25 seconds, like Mr. Rios says. So, enough talking, and let's do it.
All right.
All right.
I'll give you a little countdown.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. This one is very quick. I don't know if I could do all this.
And these gloves.
Yeah, those
Really
gloves
tight.
are very tight, man. Oh Lord.
So, that's how you do it. Want to give it a try?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not, dude? Let's try it out.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Go for it.
3, 2. Oh shoot. There's a zipper. Here it is.
Good. Sorry, you're gonna put the helmet on.
Oh, I have to put this one first?
Yeah. Right.
All right. Oh, Lord. Oh, you were right about these.
Yep.
Ah.
And in state, if anything's not put on wrong, that's if anything is put on wrong, that's time that they're gonna add to you. Or if anything falls as well. There you go.
Yeah. I'm ready to fight some fires. Oh, Lord.
So what do you think?
Let me just take this off first, dude. Holy. Oh, my gosh.
Help you out.
Well, I think whoever does this or competes for this is very skilled, very
We have
efficient.
We have a student His name is Brian, and he gets it in almost 20 seconds. He got first place, I believe, for state on bunker.
Lord, well, that's it for you guys. This is our law enforcement episode. Thank you, Mr. Oscar
Thank you, guys.
Moreno.
Thank you for having us.
Mr. Rios, Ms. Chrostowski, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. These people are very talented and efficient. I'll see you guys on to the next episode.
Thank y'all.